Understanding nutrition is critical. In each food you have three different types of macronutrients. These consist of proteins, carbohydrates and fats. So amongst these three different macronutrients, they provide calories. So 1 gram of protein will provide 4 calories, a gram of carbohydrates will provide 4 calories, and a gram of fat will provide 9 calories. You also have alcohol, which provides 7, but that's not in most foods, so it's not relevant for most foods. So to determine how many calories a person needs per day, it's based off their weight. So a person weighing roughly 80 kilos will probably need about 2,500 calories a day, which is called their maintenance calories. Now this is the amount of calories they would need to have per day to maintain their weight and not fluctuate much at all. So to break this down, a person who could have 2,500 calories could have 200 grams of protein a day, so 200 grams would be 200 times 4 is 800 calories would come from protein. Then you could break it down the same as with the carbohydrates and fats. So how many grams of carbohydrates times by 4 will be the calories from carbohydrates, same times by 9 with fats to get your total for the day. So to gain weight or lose weight, if you consume more calories than what you burn, you will gain weight. If you consume less calories than what you burn, you will lose weight. Pretty simple. So to gain about a kilo or half a kilo a week, if you have 500 calories more than your maintenance per day, that will get you to that sort of half a kilo per week above. The same will happen if you are below. About 500 calories below, you will lose approximately half a kilo a week. Depends on the person, of course, and their rate of metabolism, but that's just general figures. So the speed of someone's metabolism is also another factor in whether they gain or lose weight or how stable their weight will be. So the rate of metabolism is dependent upon their daily food intake. Someone who eats a lot on a day but will burn more calories will generally have a higher metabolism. Now this is good because it means they can go and splurge in a day and have lots of calories and still be okay. They won't necessarily put on a lot of weight because they have a fast metabolism. The trap that a lot of people get themselves into is they think they're good and they're not putting on or losing much weight, but this is because they're barely eating and they're barely doing any exercise, which means once they start to eat a lot, they have a slow metabolism and they can't continue to burn the calories at the same rate. So then they're more prone to putting on weight later in life because they have a slow metabolism. And you have this thing called what's called your metabolic age. And your metabolic age is how fast your metabolism is relative to the average of a person at that age. Which means that if my metabolic rate is 14, it means I have the metabolic rate of a standard 14-year-old person. Now that might sound crazy, but it's 14 is pretty achievable as long as you do regular exercise and eat well. So there's many other benefits apart from personally to healthy nutrition, and this includes things such as overfishing and overfarming. As a whole, the human race fishes and farms way too much food, and we're getting to a stage where we're eating away a lot of what we have. Now obviously this is a problem because we need food for survival, but it's also bad because it damages the ecosystems in which we live in. And nobody wants to see them damaged, of course. So obviously that's bad, and that's something that we need to address and fix. Another thing, of course, is the obesity epidemic. As a race, again, particularly in first world countries, the obesity rates are incredibly high, and in many first world countries the overweight proportion is as high as about 60 to 70%. So that's obviously something that needs to be addressed. So something that will help solve these issues is education. To be educated about proper nutrition will allow more people to know how to eat well and eat the right sort of foods, and able to maintain a healthy weight and create a balanced diet. And by having a balanced diet, it prevents reduces the risk of overfishing and overhunting, because they will not splurge on those sorts of foods. They will have a mixture and eat more fruits and vegetables and things like that. So in summing up, nutrition is critical for all humans, regardless of where you're from and whatever age you are. And it's not just critical to you, it's critical to everyone else around you and the ecosystems which you live in, and it's something that needs to be addressed. Thank you. You just can you really sensible.